Good morning all of you. Myself KVS Murthy, working as Assistant Professor in CSE Department, SRKR Engineering College. Cryptography and Network Security. Course code CSE 4103. Topic: Classification of Cryptographic Systems. The objectives of this lecture are classification of crypto systems, substitution and transposition techniques, symmetric key crypto systems, block cipher principles, Feistel cipher structure. Classification of crypto systems. Cryptography can be classified into two types here: symmetric key cryptography and asymmetric key cryptography. In symmetric key cryptography, we have two flavors: classical cryptography and modern cryptography. Again, in classical cryptography, we have two parts: substitution cipher and transposition cipher. In modern cryptography, we have two parts: block ciphering and stream ciphering. Criteria used for classification. Here we use types of operations used, number of keys used, the way in which ciphertext is produced as three important criteria for the classifications. Number one, types of operations used. Based on types of operations used, cryptography can be divided to substitution techniques and transposition techniques. Based on number of keys used, cryptographic systems are classified as a symmetric key or asymmetric key. Based on how the ciphertext is produced, cryptographic systems are classified to block ciphering and stream ciphering. Coming to substitution techniques, here each plain text letter is substituted with some other letter to get the ciphertext. Whereas in transposition techniques, the plain text letters are rearranged to get the ciphertext letters. In symmetric key or conventional cryptographic systems, both sender and receiver will use same key. Whereas in asymmetric key or public key crypto systems, sender can use one key for encryption and the receiver can use the other key for decryption. In block ciphering, a block of plain text is converted to a ciphertext, whereas in stream ciphering, each plain text letter is translated to a ciphertext letter. Coming to substitution techniques, the basic substitution technique is Caesar cipher technique. In Caesar cipher technique, each alphabet has assigned a number, like A assigned 1, B assigned 2, C assigned 3, like that. We have to prepare one table. Each plain text letter is replaced with some other letter standing 3 positions further to it. That is, A can be replaced with D, B can be replaced with E, C can be replaced with F, like that. Here, these are the formulas used for encryption and decryption. For encryption, the ciphertext equal to P plus 3 mod 26. For decryption, the plain text equal to C minus 3 mod 26. Here is an example how it works. The plain text is CSE, the ciphertext is FVH. In this way, Caesar ciphering will operate. As the key value is here is only 3, it is easy to break and it is easy for the attackers. So we can go for an advanced technique. The improvement for Caesar ciphering is Captain Midnight code. Here each plain text letter is replaced with some other letter standing k positions further to it. Earlier in the Caesar cipher technique, each letter is replaced with some other letter which is 3 positions further to it. Here we are replacing the letter with which stands k positions further to it. In Captain Midnight code, the key space is increased, so it provides more security. Here the equation for the encryption is C equal to P plus K mod 26, where K is from 1 to 25. Similarly, for decryption, P equal to C minus K mod 26, where K is also run from 1 to 25. Playfair algorithm is another substitution technique and it is a simplest multi-letter encryption algorithm. Here each plain text can be treated as digrams, means 2 characters at a time. The plain text is single units and converts them into ciphertext. First, for example, we have to consider a key like this, monarchy. This is a key here, and in this algorithm we have to prepare a 5 by 5 matrix like this. In this matrix, first of all, we have to write the key like this, MONARCHY, followed by the other English alphabets. Here already A is there in our key, so we write B here. C is already there in our key, so we write D here. In that way, we have to proceed. Both I and J will be placed in one cell. In this way, the matrix will be prepared in Playfair algorithm. Now the following rules are used for encryption. The plain text is split into pairs or two letters. The plain text letters in the diagram that fall in the same row of the matrix are replaced with next letters in the same row. Similarly, the plain text letters in the diagram that fall in the same column of the matrix are replaced with the next letter in the same column. The plain text letters that are not in same row or not in same column, or each plain text letter is replaced by letter that lies in the same row and other letters column. This is an example for the Playfair algorithm. Consider the plain text meet me after the party. So we divide this plain text into two letters diagrams. ME is one diagram, ET is another diagram. We break it into two characters like this, and the equivalent ciphertext. For ME, we have the ciphertext CL. For ET, we have the ciphertext KL, and we write all these ciphertexts here. Then this is the ciphertext for meet me after the party. In this way, the ciphertext will be encrypted. Now let us see again how it works. ME, we have the ciphertext CL. For that purpose, look the table here. M is here, E is here. Both are in the same column. So we replace M with C and we replace E with L. Now coming to transposition techniques. Ciphertext is generated by performing some sort of permutation on the plain text. Railfen's technique is basic transposition technique, in which the plain text is written down as a sequence of diagonals and then read off them as sequence of rows. For example, meet me after the toga party. We write like this, MEET, MEAFTE. Here we have the diagonal 2. In this way, we rewrite the entire plain text, and now we read it in the row wise. First, we have to write the characters of the first row, MEMATRHTGPRY, like that. Then we have to write the characters in the second row, and the combination will become the ciphertext. Now coming to symmetric key cryptosystems. The symmetric key cryptosystem has 5 ingredients. Number 1, plain text, encryption algorithm, secret key, ciphertext, and decryption algorithm. The plain text is nothing but the original message or data. Encryption algorithm. The encryption algorithm takes the plain text and secret key as input and performs various substitution and transposition techniques on the plain text to generate the ciphertext. Secret key is shared between sender and receiver. Secret key is also the input to the encryption and decryption algorithms. Ciphertext is a message which is not understandable and produce the output of the encryption. Decryption algorithm. This is the encryption algorithm which runs in reverse. It takes the ciphertext and the secret key as input and produces the original plain text as output. This diagram shows the structure of a symmetric cryptosystem. Here we have the plain text. Here there is an encryption algorithm. For this encryption algorithm, plain text will be the inputs along with some secret key. The secret key is already shared between sender and receiver. This is the sender end and this is the receiving end. Now the ciphertext is the output of the encryption algorithm. The ciphertext is transmitted to the receiver. The receiver will use a decryption algorithm here, and he also, for this decryption algorithm, one input is ciphertext and other input is the secret key that is already shared to get the plain text. In this way, the symmetric crypto system will work. Block cipher principles. Stream ciphers and block ciphers. A stream cipher encrypts digital stream 1 bit or 1 byte at a time, whereas the block cipher encrypts a block of plain text to produce ciphertext block of equal length. Typically, we use a block size of 64 or 128 bits. Coming to Feastal cipher structure, the Feastal cipher structure consists of multiple rounds of processing of the plain text, each round consisting of a substitution step followed by a permutation step. The input block to each round is divided to two halves that are denoted as L and R for the left half and right half. This diagram shows the Feastal cipher structure. Here the plain text block, and this is the output cipher text block. There is a processing of n rounds. Here initially the plain text is divided to two halves, L and R. This is L and this is R. L and R should be of same size. Now the block R and the key both are given to one function that is called Feastal function. So it undergoes some sort of working here, and the output is again given to the exclusive OR operation along with the left half. Now the output of exclusive OR will become the right half here, and the right half is again given as L here. This is the working of one round in Feastal cipher structure. Now this L and this R will be given as input to the next round. Same type of processing is also happening in the second rounds. Remember, here we have some round keys. In the first round we use the key K1, in the second round we use the key K2, and so on. Finally, at the end of n rounds, we will get the cipher text block. In this way, the Feastal cipher structure will operate. In each round, the right half of the block R goes through unchanged, but the left half L goes through an operation that depends upon R and the encryption key. The operation carried out on left half L is referred to as Feastal function. The permutation step at the end of each round consisting of swapping the modified L and R. Before, the L for the next round would be R for the current rounds, and R for the next round be the output L for the current round. Thank you. These are the references: Cryptography and Network Security by Forozan, Cryptography and Network Security Principles by William Stallings.